A storm was forming long before anyone could see it. War not fought with missiles or armies, but with silent shipments crossing borders, coded messages slipping through encrypted channels, and men who never spoke above a whisper. In the shadows of Latin America, an empire built on poison was expanding like a wildfire with no wind to stop it. Its influence seeped through governments, bought loyalties, erased rivals, and flooded streets across continents with a product worth more than oil, more than gold, more than blood itself. And somewhere in Langley, deep under fluorescent lights and layers of access clearance, the CIA detected something, a tremor in the global narcotics market that suggested someone new had risen, someone powerful, organized, invisible. A ghost empire worth billions, but ghosts always leave a trace. It only needed to be found. The first sign came from silence. A cartel that once operated with chaotic violence had become unnervingly organized. Killings dropped, but profits skyrocketed. Port seizures fell to near zero. Tire supply lines were suddenly coordinated with military precision. Intelligence analysts noticed the anomaly buried inside routine reports shipments, slipping through maritime checkpoints as if guided by an unseen hand. Not luck, not coincidence. Someone was cleaning the path, that somebody was smarter than the agencies hunting them. The world continued as normal, oblivious. But inside CIA's Special Activities Division, a quiet alarm began to ring. A pattern emerged where no one thought to look. Satellite images over a remote jungle region in the Andean foothills showed unusual thermal signatures, small enough to evade commercial surveillance, but consistent over time. No villages, no infrastructure, yet night after night heat signatures flickered like distant campfires. The kind used for processing. The kind used for drugs. On another screen, a separate analyst flagged encrypted financial transfers routed through shell corporations registered in the Caribbean. All linked through one point. An offshore trust with no name, no board, no traceable ownership. Money disappeared into it, but never came out. That's when analysts realized what they were seeing wasn't chaos, it was architecture. Someone had built a machine. CIA cyber units probed deeper, running simulations over months of maritime movement. Shipping routes curved unnaturally away from patrol zones, hugging darkness. Cargo containers swapped transponders mid-ocean, a trick only a handful of navies knew how to execute. Ghost fleet. Anonymous, unregistered. Perfectly timed with new satellite blind spots caused by solar interference, almost as if the cartel anticipated it. That level of coordination meant intelligence support, maybe even inside help. A drug operation behaving like a state. A terrified Washington. The agency escalated. Finally created a covert task force under a classified directive. Former field operatives were recalled. Financial forensic experts, satellite analysts, cyber intruders, and deep cover officers joined a unit that officially didn't exist. Its mandate was absolute. Locate the empire, map its networks, and dismantle it without sparking a war. The team worked inside a sealed wing. Phones surrendered. Lives placed on hold. Every whisper absorbed by classified walls. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. A shipment seized off the coast of Spain contained unusually pure cocaine marked with microscopic polymer. TAG's tracking markers invisible to the eye, used by only one defunct military research program decades earlier. Someone had resurrected the tech. Someone with access. That meant an insider, a scientist, or a former government asset. Cyber teams traced the polymer's chemical signature to a remote lab near the Colombian border. Hidden under canopy so dense even satellites saw only forest. But LiDAR cut through the leaves, revealing structures beneath, the size of small bases complete with power grids. Landing zones and heat-mapped bodies, moving in organized rotations. The Empire wasn't a cartel, it was a corporation with soldiers. To confirm, CIA inserted a deep cover operative posing as a broker with links to European buyers. No name would ever be recorded. No mission file would survive beyond a thin strip of redacted paper. He disappeared into the underworld, moving through safe houses, bribing port officials, gaining trust through silence and patience. Months passed, then a single, prearranged phrase buried inside a harmless email, told Langley he made contact. Through him came the truth. At the core of the empire sat an elusive figure known only as El Arquitecto, a man educated abroad, fluent in finance, cryptography, and war. He had unified scattered cartels by force and persuasion, offering them something no rival could: protection through data. He used military encryption to shield communications. He bought hackers instead of hitmen. He bribed border officials with untraceable crypto wallets. He studied global surveillance patterns like a general reading terrain maps. He was invisible because he understood how the world watched, how the objective changed. This wasn't just about drugs, it was about power. The CIA response escalated into a silent war. Cyber teams infiltrated offshore accounts, inserting tracer codes to follow every digital heartbeat of money. Surveillance drones disguised as migratory birds flew over jungle routes, relaying thermal signatures in real time. Naval stealth teams shadowed the ghost fleet, tagging hulls with trackers the size of coins. And in dark rooms worldwide, analysts pieced together fragments like archaeologists reconstructing a kingdom from dust. When the picture formed, it was worse than anyone expected. The Empire operated refineries hidden inside old mining tunnels, protected by ex-military mercenaries armed better than local armies. They moved product using modified submarines, running silent beneath maritime patrols. European distribution was handled through corrupted logistics firms and pharmaceutical fronts. They weren't just selling drugs, they were constructing influence. Politicians funded, judges bought, police infiltrated. Parallel economy pulsed beneath legitimate trade. CIA moved to cut the veins without letting the empire feel the knife. Under diplomatic cover, agents pressured banks through silent audits. Shell corporations collapsed overnight. Offshore accounts froze like winter rivers. Shipments vanished from ports after encrypted manifests were subtly altered. The empire bled money, but didn't know why. Then the task force played its boldest card, sabotaging the cipher. Cyber units unleashed malware engineered to look like corrupted bootstrap code. It infected encrypted channels through a decoy file, seeded by the deep cover operative. Slowly, invisibly, it opened windows into their communications brief, unstable flashes, enough to read one message among thousands. Enough to see the word shipment paired with GPS coordinates. The climax began at dawn. Naval units moved under radio silence. Black Hawks lifted from the ocean's edge. Ground teams emerged from rivers like ghosts. No television showed it. No news reported it. But in the jungle, gunfire cracked like the sky breaking. Explosions rolled through tunnels designed to hide, not withstand war. The Empire's soldiers fought like wolves, trained, disciplined, relentless. But surveillance fed real-time intel to every operative. Heat signatures marked hostiles, communications intercepted. Every escape route mapped. Within hours, the main compound fell. Labs burned, servers seized, ledgers captured. But one target mattered more than all the others: El Arquitecto. He fled into the forest with a handful of loyal guards. Drones tracked footprints through mud. A thermal bloom revealed bodies under foliage. A silent perimeter formed. No negotiation, no spectacle. When the sun rose, only the ruins of an empire remained. And a single extraction helicopter cut through morning mist, carrying away a man whose name the world would never know. There were no headlines, no public victories. Only a short classified memo summarized the operation as resolved with minimal footprint. Streets in distant cities saw fewer overdoses. Port seizures quietly increased. Stock values of certain logistics firms mysteriously collapsed. Politicians who once felt untouchable found themselves under unexpected scrutiny. But the world never learned why. There were no medals, no applause, only families waking up safe because danger had been erased before it reached them. In intelligence work, the greatest victories are invisible. History remembers wars, not the shadows that prevented them. Somewhere in a quiet office at Langley, analysts archived files that won't be declassified for decades, if ever. Agents resumed normal lives, blending back into crowds as if they had always been there. And the jungle grew over the ruins of a billion-dollar kingdom like it had never existed. But those who operate in the unseen know the truth that for every empire born from greed and blood, there are silent guardians dismantling them piece by piece in windows where no camera sees. The world sleeps because someone is awake. And sometimes the greatest battles are the ones no one knows were fought.